Hello everyone and welcome back. This is my Fantastic Four comic book collection. Probably the biggest sequential comic book run that I have. I have the most issues of this than any other comic book run that I collect. Only a few slab books, specifically some of the big keys, like Fantastic Four number 49. This is the first full appearance of Galactus and the second appearance of Silver Surfer and the first Silver Surfer and Galactus cover. One of the most famous Fantastic Four books ever. This is Fantastic Four number 94. This is the first appearance of the Fantastic Four's nanny, Agatha Harkness. But if you ask a modern day viewer, she's a witch. Fantastic Four number 48. This is the first appearance of Silver Surfer and it's the first cameo of Galactus. Technically, I think it's the first appearance of both. This is Fantastic Four number 52, first appearance of Black Panther, and a 5.0. This book presents excellent. Such a clean book. Tough book to get in a high grade. Fantastic Four number 19. This is the first appearance of Rama Tut. This is one of Kang the Conqueror's alter egos. This is my earliest Fantastic Four book. 4.0 white pages, which is kind of wild to think about. This is Fantastic Four number 46. This is the first appearance of Black Bolt, one of the Inhumans. Fantastic Four number 50, the conclusion of the trilogy, iconic Silver Surfer cover in a very, very low grade. I definitely overpaid for that book. Fantastic Four number 45, this is the first appearance of the Inhumans. And then we have Fantastic Four number 6. This is the first appearance of Annihilus, but more importantly, Franklin Richards. Fantastic Four 67 is the first appearance of the Cocoon, which would later go on to become Adam Warlock, or him. 31, that was my earliest issue for a long time. This is 74. Just iconic Jack Kirby covers. A lot of these covers that you'll see here in the double digits, they will later go on to be homaged later in the run. This is the first appearance of Ronan the Accuser. I love that name, Ronan. Fantastic Four number 66. This is another technical first cameo of him, or first cameo of the Cocoon. All these early Fantastic Four books are just so classic, and they really kind of experiment with color, not necessarily negative space, but like they used color very interestingly, like in that background, and then that iconic Fantastic Four font. None of these are like major key books. Actually, they're just kind of like minor keys, if that, but these are all books I think anybody would be happy to have in their collection. I bought all of these at one time down at a Comic-Con in Charlotte. I got a crazy deal on a lot of these. Fantastic Four number 73, this is an awesome kind of team-up cover. But like I said, a majority of my collection is in this long box. This is, I don't know how many issues I am missing. This is an awesome green cover. This is what I was talking about with how they kind of experimented with using color. And this is a red version of that where the background characters are in that red and green. This is an iconic Black Bolt and Inhumans cover. Fantastic Four 84. This is a awesome Doctor Doom cover. You know, first appearance of Doctor Doom is one that, and here's a blue example of what I was talking about. Doctor Doom is a book that I'd like to have at some point. It's just so expensive, and I don't really think that it should be that expensive. I mean, he is a major character in an early Fantastic Four book, but does it need to be like $5,000 for like a 2.0? I don't think so. And good luck finding a raw one at this point. Like, we're at the situation now where to find like big books like that, like raw, is going to be more rare than just finding them encased in carbonite. Look at that cover. Awesome Magneto cover at 104. That's a great transformation cover in for the Thing. That is a beat up copy of 109. Could be worse for sure. I think that was a cover of Annihilus. And this book right here, this is, what is this? Fantastic Four number 112. $250 price tag. I made a trade for that book. And that guy, Mario's Comics. I'm sure many of you know who that is or have seen this guy at Comic Cons. I made one of the worst trades with him of my entire comic book collecting career. I traded a first Lobo, a Mega Man, was it 3 or whatever, in a 9.6, and $50 cash for that freaking book. One of the worst decisions I've ever made. Honestly, I don't really have much respect for that dealer, just because of how he ripped me off. So I've never gone back to him ever again. And he kind of plays like he's funny and he's a funny guy and he's got a big personality. He's just a crook like the rest of them. Fantastic Four 128, 129. I love these covers where they kind of change. They change the Fantastic Four font, and then they kind of like, they make just like the top portion like a background color, and then like the bottom of the cover is the art. Then they switch it back up to kind of unify the whole cover again. Several issues back, which I showed, were some first appearances of other Heralds of Galactus. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with the movie, because to be honest with you, a lot of these books are not on a lot of people's radar. They're not something that, I mean, there's really no heat behind any of this as far as like people going out and trying to grab these. Like at the time of this filming, if you're wanting this, now is the freaking time to be buying this stuff, because it just feels like, nobody is really like grabbing these issues. This is the first appearance of Frankie Ray. That's a pretty decent little book there. Again, a lot of these books, this is kind of in that 25-cent time period where it's like, if you go hunting or like buy a comic book collection, like more than likely these will be in there. Now, I have really pieced together a sequential run of this. I mean, this is, as you can see, I mean, have I missed an issue from 100 to 200 here? I don't think I have. And if I have, it's only been like a couple. Coming up to 200 here. I'm surprised that they used that cover for the 200th issue. As far as reading Fantastic Four, this first appearance of Terrax. As far as reading this series, it's really not very good, especially the early stuff, and even into this like bronze copper time period. It's not good. Now, it's a breeding ground for like first appearances and major characters, but as far as like the Fantastic Four themselves, like Reed Richards is kind of like the star, specifically like in the more modern runs where they make him the Council of Reeds, and they kind of make him almost this mad scientist in a way. But these early issues, they're so corny, and there's so much exposition, there's so much explanation of like everything on the panels. This is an awesome Galactus cover. That is a sick cover right there. This is a key too. I can't remember what first appearance that is. This book got hot for a second too. A lot of these during the boom, they got hot for like a minute, and then everybody realized that they're like a dime a dozen pretty much. But yeah, the story is just, I just haven't been impressed. Like I read the trilogy, the 48, 49, and 50, the Galactus Silver Surfer trilogy, and apparently that was supposed to be, revolutionary, but not really impressive. To me, my collection of this is more of just like a a historical thing. I mean, the covers are great, but I really have no interest in reading this. Like, if I'm going to read a Fantastic Four story, it's going to be like the Jonathan Hickman run, or when they make the Future Foundation, like, you know, with Franklin, that kind of stuff. Now, apparently it gets better later on with like John Byrne, and then when She-Hulk comes in. But that's like hilarious that it has to get better when like one of the Fantastic Four like are not there. Like the Thing is just not there. Yeah, this is, oh, there's an homage to Action Comics 1, and then obviously you got to have that one. That I've talked to so many dealers, and like that book sells like at every convention. And here is the rest of it. Man, do I go all the... I think I'm trying to complete it all the way to 400, like within reason. Like obviously FF1 and 5 and what is it, 12, or some of those early ones. I mean, I just don't... I mean, the comic book market is crashing more, but some of those just, they're still just so overpriced. And like I was saying, like to find one not in a slab, I mean, good luck. And the chances of it being restored or color touched or some sort of, here's an homage to what I was talking about earlier, where they start homaging their own covers. But to find one that's like not messed with, like raw at this point, is just because there's a reason why they didn't slab them. Like if a dealer has like a big book like that and they didn't slab it, there's something wrong. Like my only hope is like trying to find something like that in the wild, but comic book collections are becoming fewer and fewer and far between. People realize now that there's money in this, and there's money to be made for flipping and selling these collections. So, I mean, it's just becoming harder and harder. You've got to really, to find something like that in an awesome collection, you're going to have to be willing to pay like 10 grand, 20 grand to buy like a super nice collection, and then sell what you don't want to come out ahead on like big keys. That's like your only hope. Because like, as far as people buying stuff like this, like these complete runs, nobody's buying this. Nobody wants this. But this is my Fantastic Four comic book collection. What do you guys think? If at any point in time you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.